Welcome to 13 Minutes. I'm Paul Goon, and your stock headlights are bright enough. This week, I'm hanging out in Cleveland with Jacknife Powerbombs! How long have you guys been a band?
Oof, 23 years.
23.
The first show we ever played was like 5 doors down that way. It was a place called the Green Room, and now it's called Thai Kitchen.
I think it's a Thai Kitchen, yeah.
Shout out Thai Kitchen.
Yeah, it's great Thai food. My sons go to school with the kids at.
What was that show like?
Crazy.
Chaos.
They had a capacity of 38,
something like that.
and I think we had like 90 people in there. And yeah, it was chaos. It was nuts.
We were actually the first band to ever play there too. Like they hadn't done shows there before. It was just kind of like, oh hey, we need a place to play. Our old guitar player knew the owner, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh come on in. I've got a bar. Why not have a show? So we played a show.
You guys changed that place forever.
He was really just looking for a way to get people in his bar, and he was like, hey, we weren't even a band at the time, really. He was just like, hey, you guys have instruments. Why don't you just come play here?
Yeah.
So we played 3 songs 400 times. It was a lot of fun. He sold a lot of alcohol, so he had sort of had shows after that.
The reason we had to play the show is because like a week later, a friend of ours worked at a skate shop here, and the Gravity Games were in town, and so Black Label Skateboards did a premiere for Label Kills, and they needed bands to play, and our friend got us the gig. Really, we weren't even much of a band. So
No shit.
we played the Label Kills premiere party.
Wow.
That's our second show ever.
At the Blind Pig, right? That's what
Yeah,
it was.
yeah, downtown.
And that place, is that still around?
I don't know.
I think it might be.
I don't know if that's still there or not. I haven't been downtown.
And that show was crazy. Like all the skaters you think they were all there.
Oh my god.
It was nuts.
Oh
Steve
my
Kevlar
God.
was at our second show.
My dream life.
Shout out Urethane and Steve Cap.
Shout out! What's changed between now and then? The most? With you guys, with the music scene.
Aches and pains.
Yeah.
It hurts.
What
It hurts a
has-
lot.
I think we all got gear that won't fail anymore.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, we broke
a
a
big
lot.
plus.
Broke a lot of
We
gear.
went through a lot of gear in the early days.
On purpose or on accident?
Both.
A little of both.
Yeah.
We were pushing limits and trying stuff. And I built a lot of my amps and speaker cabs and stuff, and didn't know what I was doing. And just overloaded stuff.
Like a mad
Had
scientist.
to learn a lot. Yeah, I didn't. I was pretty broke at the time, and I couldn't afford cabs, so I was trying to build them out of like old speaker cabs and shelving units and shit. Started some fires.
That's true. That's
That's not an exaggeration. There was fire started.
We got through it, and we got some better equipment and a lot more practice under our belts. So,
And at first it was like such a struggle to get shows. Like nobody wanted to have us play. Didn't have a lot of friends in the scene at the time. And I remember we knew at some point we were going to be able to start getting shows a little bit easier. And Max said, just wait till we get shows, then when people want us to play with them, we're going to pass out no's like it's Halloween. Like candy and Halloween.
well,
23 years later, that's profound. It stuck with me.
Can you guys believe that you still have fans that have been fans of yours this whole time?
Ooh. You know what?
How do you get fans to stick with you for over 20 years?
Yeah.
I mean that's
You keep them waiting for that next album.
now that it's here, we won't have it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I wouldn't even know how to do it. That's just some luck, man. I think we wrote some decent songs. We played some shows for some kids who were kind of in formative years, you know, back in sort of middle school, high school, and a lot of those kids back in the day came out young and had a lot of fun, you know, and that got sort of, that got imprinted on us, luckily, you know. 'Cause there's tons of other bands just as good as us, and we just got.
It's imprinted on me. I have it tattooed on my ass.
Not very nice. I'm gonna show you.
You guys didn't know that.
But yeah. So like, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because we've stuck together, or came back together, and some of those kids are still active. You know.
I think it's part two though. There was no pretense. We weren't ever trying to like conquer the world. We just wanted to put on a good show. I think when people came and saw us, if it was 40 people or 14 people or 400 people, like they got the same show. We weren't trying to like leapfrog to something else. Like, oh, we're beneath this. This is beneath us. We never got to that point. I think anybody who bought a ticket and came and saw a show was that I'd like to think they took that away if nothing else. Like, you might not have liked the music, you might not have liked the songs, but Jesus, those guys really went all out the whole time. So
Yeah, I think a lot of that passed on to the crowd too. Of like,
yeah,
we were big on pushing kids. Like, you know what? Everybody got up front so people could start stage diving, because it was kind of a lost art at the time when we were kind of in our heyday there. And it was like, hey, this is what we used to do back in the day. Let's make it happen again. And kids doing all kinds of crazy flips and stuff off the stage. It was a lot of fun.
What does Mors, Serta, Vita, and Serta mean?
So it means death is certain, life is uncertain.
oh come on in. Let's do a little interview.
Welcome.
Sorry, guys.
He's out. He's at peace.
Ben just left us. Ben,
Peace.
come back.
He's out of the band.
Yeah.
So it means death is certain, life is uncertain, and it's in a book. It's a book called "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?"
Do that.
It's a short story they turned into the movie Blade Runner.
I fucking love Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And the new one, what was that called? Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah.
That was sick too. That was
Yeah.
sick. Why does Cleveland gotta burn?
STDs.
Yeah.
No, it's a bit of a play because, like, definitely times where, you know, everyone kind of hates the city that they're from, and they're like, oh, our scene is the worst thing. I think we were thinking that at the time too. So it really is what has to burn in Cleveland. Got to burn is like the negativity and the, you know, pettiness of things. So that's kind of what it's about. It's not actual physical burning, but it's more burning of a negative headspace.
Gotta get cleaned up from those STDs. How'd you wind up with the uniforms?
Oh, that's a good question.
The very first uniform, we kind of decided that we wanted to wear stuff on stage.
Yeah, how many
First
versions
up.
have there been? Did you say the very
So
first?
many.
A lot. We were talking about the Label Kills show that we did. We actually ordered Kung Fu uniforms for that, but they didn't make it in time for our very first show, so I think we just played in jeans and white t-shirts, like all matching in that. But then we unveiled the karate uniforms for the Label Kills show, and I remember whoever was like kind of emceeing the event, somewhere along the line it got out that we were playing in full regalia. That night, and it just became a thing. Like the guy kept announcing it, like, "Oh, and coming up, Jacknife Powerbombs in full regalia," and full regalia just kind of became a thing.
Just meant we had some fucking outfits on.
Yeah, but I mean, they were complete outfits. I mean, they were
Yeah.
like the jackets, the pants. We had the special shoes. We had red socks that went with them because they showed a little sock, and they lasted a while.
And I think once you go full regalia, it's tough to come back to half regalia.
Yeah.
So the whole thing
Yeah.
gets stuck around.
Yeah, and then it just kind of became, what can we like make to look cool on stage? I mean, we've had a bunch of different shirts now, in
we
various styles. Like some
we
of
always
them.
talked about we always liked at least in the early days we talked about we were all big Rocket from the Crypt fans, and you know it kind of their shtick where they're presenting a unified product on stage for everyone to enjoy. It wasn't us singling ourselves out from you because we're here to perform for you, and these are our uniforms. We had some conversations about it, but it just turned into like, we're a team, so let's just dress like a team and get out there and put it together and do what we can.
And everybody ripped on it at the beginning.
Oh, for
Everyone,
sure.
we got made fun of. Like, we'd go play out of town, so people didn't know what to expect. Everyone made fun of it. But then at a certain point at the end of the night, they realized, oh, these guys can actually play, and then they kind of get it. And I remember shows like we
Damn right.
I mean, plus, like, really, who cares what you're wearing? So
Yeah.
it's like, we just didn't want to think about it. Like, what shirt am I going to wear?
Who cares what you're wearing? But we did learn one time we bought like used work shirts. They were clean, and Doug, who was not here, had allergic reaction to it. So, who cares what you wear as long as you're not having an allergic reaction?
Stay away from Downey. That's the moral of the story. Just smuggle.
How many dicks do you guys think are on the walls of this place?
Well, I've seen at least 6.
Yeah.
So,
6. That's a good starting number.
1, 2, 3.
I'm at about
Well, you haven't
eight-
even looked
eight
at the
myself.
vinyl over there.
Yeah. Oh, there's at least 7.
Yeah.
I will say it's in print as well though, because I see the word cock over here somewhere. So
That counts.
I mean, it's
That
drawn
counts.
and the written word, so a lot.
Is it true that you guys wrote the greatest song ever and never released it?
Probably.
Ooh,
A couple of them.
But if you got $20, you can buy the buy the record tonight.
So we wrote this song at one point, and it was great, and it was on a cassette tape. We had, it's not even a joke, so this is super dating myself, we had a TRS-80 Radio Shack computer cassette player. So back in the day, cassette players on the computer, they had like a real like audio cassette, but you could record. So we would record practices. I'd always have all these random tapes. And at some point, we have this tape, which is an amazing song. I don't remember how it goes, but I know Mark will remember how it went.
Is it the one that's like down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's the greatest song ever.
I could go play it for you right now.
I don't even remember.
WCW or WWF?
AEW.
I was just gonna say,
AEW.
that's the answer.
Okay,
AEW.
shout out. Shout out AEW. They're on
Yeah.
the come up. They're
New
taking
blood.
over.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the elite.
Who are your favorite pro wrestlers? Past, present, future?
Oh,
I grew up as an Undertaker fan,
I was just gonna
always.
say Undertaker.
Shout out!
Bret Hart.
Because I was a young,
Shout
impressionable
out.
kid, I loved the Road Warriors because they came out with
Shout out!
shoulder pads with spikes and face paint. That was pretty badass.
Currently, I'm a big fan of Kenny Omega. I think that guy, pound for pound, is probably the best in the world. He can work any different style. This guy's a phenom, man.
I'm a big Danhausen fan. If we're
Oh,
talking
Danhausen,
I
me
love
too.
that Danhausen.
He's fucking awesome.
Hilarious.
He's awesome. That's the one guy I do know about.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of his videos. He's funny.
Oh yeah, he's great on the mic. Says the most random shit.
What other finishing moves stand up to the Jacknife Powerbomb?
Sharpshooter, that's a good one.
The Walls of Jericho.
Walls of Jericho, yeah.
Doomsday Device from
Yeah.
Road Warriors is pretty strong.
Oh!
One Winged Angel is obviously strong. No one's ever kicked out of it. They've kept it strong for all these years.
I heard a thing the other day, the Razor's Edge. I don't think anybody ever kicked out of a Razor's Edge.
Ooh, I believe
From
it.
Razor Ramon.
That's a statistic.
And the thing about him is
One
he
to
was
know.
so tall. That
Yeah.
was like
that was like the most protected finisher ever.
Yeah.
Nobody ever kicked out of it.
yeah,
Maybe one guy did. I don't know. R.I.P.
for sure.
R.I.P.
He's a good dude.
Man, people even escape from the master lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, vocalists usually like write or type words when they're writing a song. You know, that's their part of it. How do you guys, the rest of the band, how do you guys write? Do you just start playing riffs and then you remember it for later on, or do you physically write things down like the lyricist does?
It's changed. It changes pretty much song to song. We've come to practice each with like a riff and made a song out of it, or we've just been, jamming at practice and turned it into songs. But then also some of us have showed up with songs fully written.
Yeah. Sometimes you just show up with a riff.
We just, spend practice embellishing the written song. But mostly we put it together, and we like to road test stuff and do some like live improvising and work out the songs before we really feel finished with them. So it's pretty standard, but it's all over the place depending song to song.
Nothing gets written down.
Yeah.
I think I like, for me, I'll speak for myself. Maybe these guys feel the same way. If you can't remember it, next practice, it probably wasn't that good. The stuff you remember, you've got a little filler thrown in there, you're going to remember it.
Yeah. Or my memory's not that good.
And I will say that's a great question, Paul, and I'm glad that you asked the question. As far as the lyrics go, what I really like to do...
Matt's got a typewriter. He brings the practice.
I bring it in. Now, what I really like to do
annoying.
is I first come up with the name of the song. Because so many times, if you write the lyrics first, then you're stuck with some of those lyrics as being the song title. So, I hack the system, I come up with the song title first. And then I have to figure out what that actually means, and then I write the song around that. So, when we were doing the first record, a lot of the song titles on this album are the ideas that got shot down on the naming the first record. I wanted to call the first record Electrostatic Heart Attack. We ended up calling it Set to Go, so then Electrostatic Heart Attack just became the name of the song.
20 years later.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
That sounds
I'm
like
not sure
bullshit.
you shot it down, yeah.
I seem to remember Appetite for Construction mostly being
That was-
that.
Second attack for construction.
That's the one I was pushing for.
Yes.
That was the runner.
How was filming your first music video?
Oh, that was so much
Awesome.
fun. It was tiring, but it was so much fun. It had been a long time since we really got to hang out as a band, just kind of dicking around. I mean, we were still doing band stuff by shooting a video, but I mean, just having a full day where all we could do was hang out with each other was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we pretty much just, when we weren't playing through the song for the video, we were hanging around waiting for the camera guys to get their stuff set up, so we got to actually spend a little time that wasn't necessarily productive. It was really awesome. It was really fun to hang out.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of years since we all spent some time in conversation, not programmed practices or trying to
Gotta get to
achieve a goal.
pick my kid up, gotta go do this, gotta go do that, yeah.
It was nice to have a day of pretty. I mean, it wasn't a lot of work, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the video looks awesome. The next
Oh,
yeah.
So
It
it's,
turned out great.
it's
We're
nice
doing
that
shout out to Keith Nickerson who did the
Shout
whole damn
out!
thing. He and his crew absolutely
For
killed
sure.
it on it. Amazing work. It looks awesome.
Who are your favorite fellow Cleveland bands?
Oof, that's a rough question.
Some of them.
I haven't gotten out much in the last couple of years, so I don't even know who's out anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
Same thing as the wrestlers, past or present.
okay. I always liked Disengage. Those guys had a lot of
they
good
were
songs.
So good.
Yeah.
So many good
I was
songs.
so mad when he moved to New York. Or when the singer moved to New York
Yeah.
and broke up.
Gotta love the Gluttons.
I like Beast Killer too.
The James Gang for doing past and present. I like the James Gang.
I'm not involved in that. I'm not a James Gang fan myself.
Dead Boys, they're Cleveland, yeah. They're good. God.
Been so many bands over the years. It's hard to like
Oh, yeah.
on the spot prioritize. I was always a big Amps to 11 fan. I really love those guys.
Yeah.
Getting a tone, you know, Punchy Moses playing tonight. It's the same bass player from Amps to 11, and two of the guitar players. There's a lot. Some of the guys from Amps to 11, so I'm pretty excited to watch
played
them
with-
play again.
I think we played with the Narcoleptics a lot. Those guys were always great.
Yeah.
A lot of
Oh, we
fun.
played with Brazen Rogues and American Werewolves too.
Oh, yeah,
like we
yeah,
did
yeah.
killer shows with those two bands. Gluttons too, and then our friends when we first started Southern Trespass were great too. Charlie, they never they had a keyboard player. Charlie was in the band. They'd always turn his keyboard down, and we were always complaining like, "Yeah, turn Charlie up." Never happened. Never did.
I saw on your guys' band camp that you're into cheap adventures. What does a cheap adventure consist of?
It's kind of open
a
to
Jacknife Powerbomb show.
Yeah,
Good answer. What does punk mean?
Oh man.
yeah.
Somebody
No
smart.
one knows.
Speak to that one.
This is
Oh, Kevin.
Hey,
hold on.
Come here. We're bringing you up.
Do you need to take a picture?
No, no, we're doing an interview.
Can you answer the
What?
question?
You gotta answer this question for us. What does
Okay.
punk mean?
What does punk mean?
This is Kevin from Gluttons.
Hey, come on in.
I met Kevin when I was in
Come
fourth
on
grade.
In the frame.
Punk-
Sit,
I think-
sit in the middle there.
I think.
Yeah.
What is like punk rock?
Yeah. What's it mean?
3 chords and a cloud of dust, man. Really?
Incorrect.
No, that's not. I'm out of here. This is
There's no wrong answers.
Yeah,
Except for that one.
Except that one.
I feel like if I had to say for like as far as what we're doing, I mean, it's just doing it the way that you want to do it. You know, it could be more. I mean, be more metal leaning. It could be more rock leaning. It could be. Fuck, there's Celtic punk bands. There's country punk bands. But like, just doing it the way you want to do it. We've kind of developed our own sound within punk, and it's just kind of taking its own thing. Anytime somebody asks us what kind of band we are, I don't know.
We're a punk band.
We're a punk band. Yeah. Exactly.
What's it like to be attacked by a ghost pterodactyl?
I'm glad you asked that question too.
Yeah.
So,
God.
people talk about the album and like lyrics and what they mean. That is the only real true story on that album. We were coming out of practice, and there was like a weird flash of light. The type of thing like you would totally disregard. It's like, oh, it's not a ghost or anything like that. I was just seeing things. And I would have disregarded it, but Max saw it too.
Yeah, it flew over a house. It was like a line of light flew over a house and over our heads. And,
Like the Predator.
weird, and we both looked at each other like, what the fuck was that? And we were like, fucking pterodactyl. You know, and that was it. But it was, something really happened. We had no idea what it was.
And we played that song a couple times, not too many. And then Jurassic World came out, and there's like a famous pterodactyl attack scene in there. And it was in the trailer that they showed during the Super Bowl. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, they stole my idea.
Yeah.
Totally stole it. So that's why the lyrics now kind of reflect that. And we shout out Bryce Dallas Howard.
That's my baby.
Shout out! Are mosh pits supposed to be pushing, punching, or both?
Anything. Whatever. People are excited and moving around, they can do whatever they want. It don't bother.
Do you guys stretch or do any warm-ups before you play a show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's exhausting.
You're cutting, this interview's cutting into my stretching.
We didn't used to have to do that, but definitely we do now.
Yeah. I feel like every now and again somebody will see us doing it and they're like, what the hell are these guys' problems? Like,
Yeah.
fucking stretching
Age.
before a show.
Yeah.
Age is a part of it, but like,
You'll live longer.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't move as much as we do on stage. So, especially like now that it's colder out, like you got to get the blood flowing a little bit before you get up there and just put the pedal down. Like,
Yeah, chill in the air is never good for rock and roll music.
No.
It's just real depressing.
yeah,
It's cold. It's cold out there.
it's cool.
Yeah.
Does pineapple belong on pizza? What are the best pizza toppings?
It's got to have the right other ingredients with it, not by itself. I don't like it by itself, but with some like salty bacon or ham. Or
Yeah,
something.
in the context of a Hawaiian pizza,
Yeah,
absolutely.
If it's got a glaze on it, sometimes yes.
I've actually had burritos lately that have on the top, they have chorizo sausage with pineapple. It's delicious.
Where are you getting those fancy burritos?
El Chorito Taco and Mexican restaurant in Berea.
Free
Big
plug.
time shout out.
Big time shout out El Torito.
What's the craziest thing you guys have ever seen in a show?
Oh, not this band. I played in another band. We played in Akron at Annabelle's, and the band before us, the singer's tooth fell out on stage, and he stopped the show and found it and put it back in his face. That was the
That's
worst.
a good
That was
one. That's not what I
probably-
expected.
Probably the craziest shit.
I was gonna have an answer, but I don't want to say it anymore because there's
Yeah,
a topic
that-
that.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I'll
you
defer to that.
Yeah.
Tooth out.
The Akron Mutants are something else, man. It's crazy. Crazy.
Akron Mutants. Do you guys think you'll ever be famous?
No.
No.
I mean, what's your reach?
Shout out to my reach.
Yeah.
If you do your job right,
We're
sure.
kind of depending on you for that, Paul.
I feel attacked. I hate to
Oh,
sound
no.
like somebody my age.
Loved and supported.
Beers or waters on stage?
Water.
Water. Yeah, water.
If you guys were remembered for one thing, would you want it to be this band?
I think that's all I am remembered for at this point. So,
I wouldn't be disappointed if all I was
Yeah.
before was this band.
Yeah, that's okay. That sounds good. Let's go with that.
It's hard to, as a father. It's hard to be like, no, the band's the
Yeah.
most important things. My kids are awesome, but
Yep.
I guess remembered by the masses, not by the family.
Kids.
yeah, but you know, I would never be disappointed if we were remembered for any length of time. I would
Do you guys have more shows coming up? What can we expect from you next year?
It's all brewing.
yeah.
Yeah,
What is
nothing,
good beer?
nothing in the books. But you know, we've been talking about keeping a practice schedule, writing a couple more songs, maybe doing a couple of EPs or something. So nothing's set in stone, but we've been talking about work.
Yeah, you'll be working either way.
Yeah. But we'll get some shows together. I'm sure this coming year, play a couple. Hopefully.
Maybe a show near you. Maybe that's a cliffhanger.
I'm Paul Goon. They are Jacknife Powerbombs. And that was a cliffhanger.
But I don't think it was.